Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the second part of building a React portfolio. So, like in last video I was saying, we are going to be building this website that I have in here. This is like a completely free theme, like I said. It's a bootstrap theme. So, yeah, we're just going to build this in React, okay? So, like last video, if you watched the first video, this is going to be the second. I'm gonna start building in here the navigation bar, but in this theme actually the navigation bar is in here on the side, something like a slide panel. But since I already did this exactly the same thing on my JavaScript project, if you are going to see on my latest videos, I have how to make these completely. So I'm just gonna make a simple navigation bar in here now with React, so it doesn't complicate too much for you guys. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so if I'm going in here to my folder, so this is like the folder that we created before, if you remember. We need to go inside our src folder, and let's open this one, the index.js file. Just gonna grab this, put in here on my Visual Studio Code, and here is where all the magic happens. If you remember, in the last video we were editing this page where you could see like welcome to my React portfolio. This is a tutorial by Telmo Sampaio, and we were actually editing this on this file app.js. Oops, just need to put this in here. Just did something wrong. Let me just push this in here. Okay, it was this one, okay? But basically, when you install from scratch all these React projects, yeah, like I showed you in the last video, all of them, they work like this. You are going to have this index.js, which will grab all the other files, components, whatever you want to call it, okay? And from here, from index.js, then it's going to pass it to our HTML page with this line of code in here, okay? So let me just go in here and explain you. For example, let's edit our app.js, okay? And let's transform it. Let's just copy the code, basically, okay? Let's just copy the code and let's start a new file, and I'm going to paste it in, okay? And I'm going to call it navigation.js, okay? So I'm going to go in here, save, and I want in here navigation.js, okay? This is the name of this new file that I just created. If I go in here into my folders, now, where is it? Navigation.js, here it is. Okay, so now, first of all, we are importing React and component. That's fine. This is what we all, that's what we want. We don't need this logo, so I can just get rid of this. Let me just see if there is any more logo in here. There is some logo in here that I don't want. Let's just get rid of this because this is going to give us an error. So there is no more. Yeah, I'm just going to get rid of all of these, and I'm just going to explain you quickly. In here, we are creating basically a class component. This is most of the times what we are going to do, creating class components. If you're going to create a navigation bar, a navigation header, whatever you want to call it, you're going to create a component for it. If you're going to create a header, like a back hero image with some call to action buttons, you can create another component, for example, in another file. And like this, you keep things like separate in modules, and if you need to update something, you can just go to that file and update it, and that's it. That's how easy it is, okay? So at the moment, I'm just going to create in here a nav. Okay, so I'm going to create a nav just to close this. Okay, let me just show you something. I don't remember now if I mentioned in the last video or not, because this video took a while to make now. I was a little bit busy. Right, okay, so if I put in here for example, React project, and now let's say this is just an example. Okay, I'm just going to put in here a div, and I'm going to put div to close, and I'm going to put in here logo, something like this. Now I imported React in order to be able to create this kind of class. I don't need to import any CSS. If I want, I will do it. So I'm just going to comment this out at the moment. All right. I create this class. So I'm going to name it class navigation. You can give it whatever name you want. Okay. So class navigation extends component, and in here, in the top, look, when you have this brackets component, if you don't put this, for example, if you just remove this and just put React from React, you would have to put like React.component. Okay, so this is just a way, let me just get rid of this. This is just a way to remove this React dot all the time, so you can just like write component. Okay, so we created this. We need a render all the time inside of our class, and we need a return, okay? And whatever you have inside of the return, that's what will show up in the page, okay? So I have in here a element nav with some text and a div with logo, okay? And then in the end, I'm going to put in here export default navigation. What does this mean is like if you were having like more classes in here, because you can put more classes after this class in here, you could put another class component, you know. What does this mean is like the default export of this file will be this class component, okay? This is what the export default means. So now if I go in here into my index.js, like I told you, this is the file which will connect to our index.html through this code that we have in here. So in here, what I want to do is, right, okay, so I can actually put it in here, something like this. No, I don't want to complicate this too much, so I'm just going to put in here something like this. Import, and I'm going to put navigation from, and I'm going to put single quotes, and I'm going to put a dot, which means it's in the same directory, okay? In the same directory, look, this is the directory, okay? This is our index.js, and our navigation is just in here. That's why you need to put dot slash, okay? So import navigation from dot slash, and you're going to put navigation. You don't need to put navigation.js. In here it works if you just put navigation like this. React will understand, okay? So if I put this, and now I'm going to just comment this one out, this app, okay? And now I need to actually put in here, I want to render on my index.html in the div with the ID of root. Let me just put this in here so you can see. Public index. Look, here is our div with the ID of root, completely empty, okay? And I want to pass in here our component navigation. Okay, so React DOM.render navigation, and we are going to put this inside of the document.getElement by ID root. Okay, I don't need this as well, this CSS, so I can just comment this out. Right, let's just go in here and see how does it look like. So what we have some errors in here. This is the errors that I wanted to say. In our navigation in here component that we just created, there is no outer element, you know. You can't create, for example, a nav and then a div. Everything has to be wrapped up in one element. So for example, if I put in here, let's say I'm going to put in here a div. just an image. I'm gonna put I'm gonna put a paragraph because I'm just gonna put maybe a H2. I just want to put the title, so H2 like this, and I'm gonna put in here React project, and now I'm gonna get rid of this, and now I'm gonna put in here a UL, an ordered list, and I'm gonna put li. Okay, I'm gonna close this li again, and I'm just gonna put home, just something you will see in a second. Home about and contacts. Just gonna close this, and now all of this code in here, look, inside of this return, it's wrapped in this navigation element. So now it should work. So if you go back in here, look, React project, and you got home, about, contact. Okay, so this is perfect. All right, now we can actually start adding some CSS. Okay, so I can create a file, a CSS file just for this one. So I'm gonna call it, I'm gonna save it as navigation.css. Okay, and in here I'm gonna put import, and I'm gonna put navigation.css. Okay, so we are importing this one up, and now I'm gonna put, if in here now, for example, you want to put something like a class of logo, something like this. Okay, you are giving it a class of logo to these JSX. This is called JSX because this is not HTML, because it's inside of JavaScript. This now is actually not giving an error. I'm surprised, but it should give an error. So you need to put actually like class name, something like this. Okay, so if you go in here, and now I'm gonna put in here, I'm gonna target my class of logo, and what I'm gonna put in here, class logo, and I'm just gonna give it, for example, I don't know, just a font size, just to make sure it's working. Font size, I'm gonna put it, for example, to 30 pixels, just something big, just to make sure it's working. And now if I select this and go to my developer tools in here, let me just increase this. Font size 30 pixels, and if I give it, for example, a color of blue, if I go there, it's working. Okay, so I'm gonna just style this just like really quickly, so you guys can see. So as you can see, we created a component just for the navigation bar, and let's see what else I can put in here. So I have home, about, services, portfolio, home, about, services, portfolio, and just put in here. So services, and I'm gonna put in here portfolio, and contact. Okay, now I can actually put in here on the top, for example, my nav bar, my nav, I want it to be display flex. I'm not gonna go in too much detail about the CSS in here because this is more of a React project. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one in here. I'm gonna put justify content, maybe a space between, so I can have them on the sides, and I want my UL to have list style none. I think it's the UL that I have to target, but let me see in here. Yeah, okay, so this one is in here now. All right, let me just get rid of these. Okay, so got these in there. I want my I'm gonna put the nav, so it's gonna only target the things inside of there. My nav ul li. I want to have a display of inline block. Okay, now this looks better, and I also want them to have a margin on the right of let's say 8 pixels, just to see. Okay, this is better. But now I also need them to be with some anchors, okay, so we can click and do something with it. So I'm just going to copy these anchors so we can actually click. So you always, this is something that when I was starting in the front-end web development, I never knew if I should put the anchors out of the LIs or inside. So the right thing is putting the anchors, these A's, inside of the LIs, okay? Just if someone is like confused, because I remember in the beginning for me this was all a mystery, and now that I have a little bit more experience I can share this with you guys. Okay, let me just copy this one up, just put this in here, put this one in here, closing. Let's go in here. This is all great. Let's go again in here. I'm gonna just copy this one up. I'm gonna put this one in here, and I'm gonna put the A. I want the text decoration to be none. So that's better. Yeah, that's fine. And now I want my navigation. I'm gonna check the color exactly. What's this color in here? Let's see. Computed. So this is the nav. My UL. I want to get all of these. So this is body nav. Let's see what color do we have in here. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna put this background color on my navigation bar. So if I put in here background, I always like to put directly, not just background, because if you put just background with CSS, you could put more things like background repeat, no repeat, whatever. And if you put background color, you know that you are specifying just this command. Okay. Okay, so this is great in here. Okay, and now we have to put the color of the LIs. So the color is going to be most likely, where is it? The color of the A's. It's going to be white. So I'm just going to put the color is going to be white. Color is going to be FFF. So if I go in here, this is all white, perfect. And I need this one to be white as well. So I'm going to put FFF, something like this, much better. Okay, there is also something in here that I can actually put in here on my index.js. I'm just going to import this one in from the index.css, because this is styling that I want to put on all the page. Okay, so if I open in here my index.css, this is the one. I want the margin padding everywhere, and I want the box sizing to be border box. Okay, let me refresh. Yeah, this just got rid of everything, and now I just want to center this a little bit more. All right, so to center this, I'm going in here into my navigation.css, and I'm going to my nav, and I'm going to put align items center. This is to just make sure that they align vertically with Flexbox. Look at this, nice and aligned. Okay, one last thing, I'm going to put a little bit of padding. Let me see, there is no padding here. Let's put a little bit of padding on the left and on the right. So I'm going to put in here padding right. I'm gonna put it maybe, I don't know, just like 20 pixels maybe. And the same on the left. So we have some nice spacing on the sides. Okay. Let me refresh and that's it. Something in here, something in here. And yeah, that's it guys for this video. I'm gonna do some more things in here in the navigation, but I don't want each video to go like too long. All right, so that's it for this video. Like I said, hope you like it. If you have any question or something, just let me know in the comments down below. I hope you could understand a little bit how you can import like your own CSS for each individual file, and how you can create class components and export them. It might sound a little bit confusing in the beginning, but yeah, it's not. Any question, like I said, just let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.